My sister stole $100,000 from my account for her luxury vacation. When I asked her why, she scoffed. You have more than enough. I cut her off completely. At Christmas dinner, she pleaded. You wouldn't do this to your own blood. I stood up and said, watch me. The whole family was shocked when, growing up, my sister, Sabrina, and I weren't rich, but we were comfortable. Our parents, Mark and Teresa, worked regular middle-class jobs. Dad was an electrician, Mom was a nurse. They taught us to be responsible with money because they had to be. They worked overtime, clipped coupons, drove the same cars for years. I took those lessons to heart. Sabrina didn't. Even as kids, we were different. I saved my allowance. She spent hers the second she got it. I worked part-time in high school. She quit every job she ever got after a month because it was too stressful. I paid my own way through college. She got a degree in communications and blew through every cent of the student loans she took out on clothes and weekend trips. By the time we were in our 30s, the gap between us was glaring. I had a solid career in finance, owned a condo in Lincoln Park, Chicago, and had been carefully investing for years. I wasn't rich, but I was stable. Meanwhile, Sabrina, despite having parents who bent over backward to help her, was always broke. She worked, sure, but she spent recklessly. Luxury bags, fancy brunches, last-minute vacations to Miami with her friends. She never had savings, never had a plan. And every time she ran out of money, she came to me. Nate, just this once. I'll pay you back next paycheck, I swear. It's just a little loan. You're doing well, right? For years, I helped. $50 here, $100 there. A few times, even $1,000. And every time, it was the same. She never paid me back. Ever. Eventually, I learned to say no. I had to. But I never thought she'd go this far. It was a regular morning. I got up, made my usual cup of coffee, and sat down at my desk to check my accounts like I always did. Then I saw it. $100,000, gone. At first, I thought I was seeing things. Maybe I mistyped my password. Maybe it was a glitch. I refreshed the page. Still gone. Then, I saw the recipient's name. Sabrina Carter. I felt my entire body go cold. This had to be a mistake. It had to be. I hadn't sent her any money. How could she? Then it hit me. Years ago, I'd added her as an authorized user to one of my savings accounts. Back when I was still trying to help her out. I'd forgotten about it. Never thought she'd even remember. But she had. I grabbed my phone and called her. She picked up on the third ring, sounding cheerful. Hey Nate, she chirped. I could hear music, laughter, the clinking of glasses. Where are you? My voice was tight. Dubai, she giggled. Girls trip. We're having the time of our lives. Dubai. A luxury vacation. With my money. I gripped my phone. Sabrina, did you take money from my account? There was a brief pause. Then, a casual, oh, yeah, don't worry about that, big bro. You have more than enough. I swear I saw red. Are you out of your goddamn mind? I hissed. That was $100,000, Sabrina. Do you have any idea what you've done? She sighed like I was annoying her. Oh my God, Nate. Relax. It's just money. You make six figures. You barely touch your savings anyway. Why are you freaking out? I gritted my teeth so hard my jaw hurt. Because you stole it. That money wasn't yours. She scoffed. It's not stealing. It's borrowing. I'll pay you back, eventually. I nearly threw my phone. Do you even hear yourself? I shouted. You took $100,000 without asking. That's not borrowing, Sabrina. That's theft. She groaned. Oh my God, stop being so dramatic. You act like I wiped out your account. My hands were shaking. Do you even understand what you've done? You're acting like I'm some criminal, she snapped back. Jesus, Nate. You have money. You're not struggling. And I wanted to do something nice for myself for once. My friends were all going, and I didn't want to be the only one left out. What was I supposed to do? Say no. I laughed. Actually laughed. A sharp, bitter sound. Yes, Sabrina. You say no. You don't take someone else's money and act like you deserve it. She sighed loudly. Whatever. I'll pay you back when I can. Get over it. And then, she hung up. I sat there, staring at my phone, my heart pounding, my hands shaking. And I made a decision. I was done. First thing I did, locked down my accounts, called my bank, revoked Sabrina's access, changed every password. Then, I filed a fraud report. The bank was sympathetic, but because I had given her access in the past, they said my chances of getting my money back were slim. Your best option is legal action, the rep told me. Legal action. Against my own sister. I sat with that for a long time. I thought about what it would mean. The fights. The fallout. What my parents would say. And then I thought about Sabrina. How she'd lied to me, stolen from me, laughed in my face when I confronted her. She didn't care. She never had. So I hired a lawyer. I sent her a formal demand letter. And I cut her off. No more loans. No more bailouts. No more contact. Sabrina, of course, went ballistic. She called, texted, left voicemails, furious, indignant, demanding to know how I could betray my own sister over a little money. I didn't answer. Then, our parents got involved. Nathan, she's your sister, Mom pleaded. You're really going to let money come between you? Dad, I asked, hoping he'd be on my side. He sighed. Son, I don't agree with what she did. But do you really want to take this to court? I clenched my jaw. She stole 100 grand, Dad. She didn't even apologize. What am I supposed to do? Mom sniffled. You're supposed to be family. I laughed bitterly. Then why didn't she act like it? Silence. I knew, then, that they weren't going to back me. I was on my own. But that was okay. Because I wasn't backing down. The fallout wasn't just between me and Sabrina. It became a family-wide disaster. After I cut her off, she ran straight to our parents, crying about how I was trying to ruin her life over a misunderstanding. She painted herself as the victim, said I was punishing her over a little money and making things worse by getting lawyers involved. Mom called me the next day. Nathan, you need to drop this lawsuit. I rubbed my temple. Mom, she stole $100,000. This isn't some stupid sibling fight. It's fraud. But she's your sister. Yeah, and she took my money, laughed about it, and told me to get over it. I felt my anger bubbling up again. She's not even sorry, Mom. You really think I should just let this go? Mom hesitated. She made a mistake. A mistake? I barked out a laugh. She knew exactly what she was doing. She didn't even ask. She just took it because she felt entitled to it. Mom sighed. She said she'd pay you back. I closed my eyes and counted to 5 before responding. Mom, has she ever paid back anyone? Silence. That was the thing. Sabrina was a chronic borrower. She owed me, our parents, old roommates, old boyfriends, even some of her friends. She never paid back anyone. Ever. Mom knew it. Dad knew it. But they still wanted me to be the bigger person. I didn't budge. The next day, Dad called me. He tried a different approach. Son, listen, he said in his calm, reasonable voice. I know you're angry. You have every right to be. But think about what this will do to the family. I did, I said. And I decided that's her problem, not mine. Dad exhaled. Nathan, we're talking about your sister. The holidays are coming up. Do you really want to turn Christmas into a war zone? I scoffed. Dad, it's already a war zone. She started it. She stole from me. But instead of telling her she was wrong, you and Mom are telling me to drop it. I'm not saying she's right, he said carefully. I just don't want this to tear us apart. I pinched the bridge of my nose. Dad, I didn't tear us apart. She did. And if you guys keep enabling her, she's never going to stop. Silence. For a second, I thought maybe, just maybe, he saw my side. Then he said, just think about it before you do something you'll regret. I hung up. I didn't regret a damn thing. Sabrina, on the other hand, she regretted that I actually followed through. My lawyer sent her a formal demand letter. It gave her 30 days to return the money or we'd move forward with civil charges. She texted me that same night. Sabrina, are you serious? You're suing me? I ignored it. She called. I didn't answer. Then the messages started flooding in. Sabrina, you're in a hole. Sabrina, Mom and Dad are furious at you. Sabrina, wow. You really don't care about family, do you? Sabrina, I told you I'd pay you back. Then, finally, Sabrina, fine. You want to play dirty? Let's see what happens. What the HLL did that mean? I found out soon enough. A week later, I started getting weird texts from mutual friends. Hey man, I heard about what happened. Is it true? Wow dude, suing your own sister? That's cold. Bro, did you really cut her off over some money? I was confused at first. Then, I found out Sabrina had been running her mouth. She had told everyone, extended family, old friends, even some of my coworkers, that I was trying to destroy her life over a small misunderstanding. She made herself sound like a struggling single woman who just needed a little help, and I was the evil rich brother who crushed her over a few dollars. She conveniently left out the part where she took a six-figure sum behind my back. I was livid. I didn't respond. I didn't defend myself publicly. I just sent the receipts to anyone who asked. Bank statements. Wire transfer records. The screenshots of her admitting she took it. And just like that, her little sob story fell apart. Mutual friends stopped backing her. Some straight up blocked her. And me? I kept moving forward with the lawsuit. December came fast. I had zero plans to go home for Christmas. I didn't want to be in the same house as Sabrina or my spineless parents. But then Mom called again. Nathan, please come to Christmas dinner, she begged. We all need to be together. I let out a sharp laugh. Are you kidding me? Your sister wants to make amends. I paused. She said that. I asked, doubtful. Yes, Mom said quickly. She realizes she was wrong. She wants to apologize. I sat back. My gut told me this was a trap. But a small part of me thought, maybe she really is sorry. So I agreed. Big mistake. I walked into my parents' house on Christmas Eve and immediately felt the tension. Sabrina was there, dressed in a designer outfit, drinking expensive wine, laughing like she didn't have a care in the world. I hadn't even taken off my coat before she sneered. Oh, look who finally decided to stop acting like a crybaby. My jaw clenched. So much for an apology. Mom shot her a look. Sabrina, be nice. She rolled her eyes. I'm just saying. It's Christmas. Maybe my dear brother can stop being so petty for one night. I laughed. Actually laughed. Petty. I repeated, walking toward the dining table. You stole $100,000, Sabrina. And you think I'm the petty one. She scoffed. Oh my God, are you still on that? You're so dramatic. I turned to Mom. Dad, this is what you wanted me here for? This. Mom looked panicked. Nathan, please, let's just sit down and have dinner. No, I snapped. I came here because you told me she wanted to apologize. But clearly that was a lie. Sabrina crossed her arms. What do you even want, Nate? Blood? I told you, I'll pay you back. I stared at her. Yeah. I said. When? Silence. She didn't have an answer. Because she never planned to pay me back. Then she tried the last card she had left. You're really gonna do this to your own blood? I leaned in, voice ice cold. Watch me. For a moment, the entire dining room went silent. I stood there, staring at my sister, the same sister who had drained my bank account, laughed in my face, and turned our family against me, while she sat there in her designer dress, sipping my stolen money in the form of overpriced wine. Then, Mom broke the silence. Nathan, she pleaded, eyes filled with desperation, please, sit down. It's Christmas. We need to put this behind us as a family. I let out a sharp, humorless laugh. Put this behind us. I repeated. Mom, are you listening to yourself? She stole from me. $100,000. That's not a little mistake. That's not something you just move past because it's Christmas. Mom wiped at her eyes. But your family. I glanced at Dad, who sat quietly, his mouth set in a grim line. He hadn't said much, but I could tell. He knew I was right. He just didn't want to admit it. Then I looked at Sabrina. She was still sitting there, arms crossed, rolling her eyes like this was just another one of my tantrums she had to endure. Like I was the one being unreasonable. Something inside me snapped. You know what? I said, voice steady, controlled. Fine. Let's put it behind us. Sabrina raised an eyebrow, suspicious. Oh, you're finally coming to your senses. I smirked. Yeah, I'm dropping the lawsuit. Her whole body relaxed. Mom breathed a sigh of relief. Dad let out a slow exhale. And then, I pulled a thick, white envelope out of my coat pocket and tossed it onto the table. But before we move on, Sabrina, why don't you open that? Her brows furrowed as she picked up the envelope and pulled out the papers inside. Her face went pale. This? She whispered. What the HLL is this? I leaned forward, smiling. That, dear sister, is a formal civil judgment. She swallowed. But you said, I said I was dropping the lawsuit. I cut in. And I did. I took a different route. Instead of taking you to court, I took you straight to collections. Her breath hitched. Collections? Yep. I grinned. You see, when you commit fraud, banks and creditors tend to take that pretty seriously. So instead of wasting time with a lawsuit, I went straight to the professionals. Your debt has officially been sold to a third-party collection agency. She blinked, processing. Then, she exploded. You can't do that, she shrieked, slamming the papers down. You son of a BTCH. You're ruining my life. I crossed my arms. No, Sabrina. You ruined your life. I'm just making sure you face the consequences. I'll give Sabrina credit. She tried to fight it. She called the agency, screamed at them, demanded they fix this. But debt collectors don't give a damn about sob stories. Within weeks, they wrecked her credit. She couldn't get approved for a car loan. She couldn't rent a decent apartment. Even her credit cards started cutting her off. Her lavish lifestyle crumbled overnight. She begged Mom and Dad for money. They refused. Dad, finally, put his foot down. You made your bed, Sabrina. Now lie in it. She tried guilt-tripping her friends. Most of them had already distanced themselves after seeing the bank statements I shared. No one was willing to bail her out. She tried getting another credit card. But with her destroyed credit score, no bank would touch her. She was drowning. And then, she called me. It was late, almost midnight, when my phone rang. I stared at the screen. Sabrina. I let it ring. She called again. And again. Finally, I picked up. Her voice was shaky. Nate, please. I don't know what to do. They keep calling. They're saying they might garnish my wages. My landlord won't renew my lease. I can't even get a car loan. My whole life is falling apart. I listened in silence. Then, she whispered, help me. I took a deep breath. You know what the funny thing is, Sabrina? I said. You told me. It's just money, she asked in a breath. I didn't mean. Yeah, you did. I said. You didn't care when you stole it. You laughed in my face. You called me petty. And now that it's affecting you, you suddenly want my help? She sniffled. I'll pay you back. I swear. Just help me fix this. I smirked. You don't owe me money anymore, Sabrina. She stilled. What? You don't owe me. You owe them. And guess what? They don't care about family. Her breath hitched. Nate, good luck, Sabrina. Then I hung up. And for the first time in years, I felt free. Sabrina spent the next 2 years digging herself out of debt. She had to take a second job just to make minimum payments. Her luxury lifestyle? Gone. She had to move into a tiny studio apartment. She drove a beat-up old car. And me? I moved on. I built my life back up. I focused on my work, my friendships, and my own future. I didn't look back. As for our family, Mom and Dad eventually stopped trying to fix things. They saw that Sabrina did this to herself. And now, she's still paying for her mistakes. No revenge is sweeter than letting someone destroy themselves. And I slept like a baby every night.
يعني هو يعني احنا كل سنة بيبقى فيه تطور، بس هو الشكل العام انه بيبقى فيه تنظيم كويس في كل سنة، وهو الجديد المرة دي ان الحياة هي اللي بتغطي المهرجان. وتحية لكل العاملين في الحياة مني ومن فرقتي الموسيقية.
وعايزة
يعني
انوه لحضرتك كمان انه النهارده الحفلة ترند. حفلة حضرتك يمكن كان في ترند الاول الاستاذ علي الحجار وحضرتك النهارده. فيعني اعتقد ان ده نجاح كبير جدا كمان للمشاهدين اللي بيشوفونا على التلفزيون.
ما كانش ليا حظ ان انا احضر حفلة الاستاذ علي.
أيوة
لكن هتابع بقى بعد كده كل الحاجات.
تابع وتشوف بقى الترند بقى والحاجات. إن شاء الله. سريعا كده اي جديد عند حضرتك بتقدمه الفترة اللي جاية؟
يعني انا